Chapter 2 Black Rock and Roll 20 minutes later at Uther's encampment near the Black Rock clan village.
Good timing, lad. I sent two of my best knights into parley with the orc leader. They should be returning shortly. Damn. These orcs will never surrender.
Then let's get in there and destroy the beasts.
Remember, Arthas, we are paladins. Vengeance cannot be a part of what we must do. If we allow our passions to turn to bloodlust, we will become as vile as the orcs.
Yes, Uther.
If you're feeling up to it, I want you to lead the attack.
Me? Well, of course.
I'll remain here and ensure that none of the loathsome beasts threaten the camp.
I won't fail you.
I know you won't, lad.
Of course.
I absolutely love missions like this one. We start out with an excellent cutscene building more of the character and relationship between Uther and the young prince. He scolds you mildly for being overzealous, but turns right around and gives you permission to go prove yourself. I think that the wise counsel of Arthas' mentor has kept him out of trouble and probably saved his neck on more than one occasion. We'll start out the mission by telling Arthas to go knock down the nearby orc patrol, starting with the troll because he has a higher damage potential and is also easier to kill. Soon as you're done, from the north you should be seeing the first enemy raid. Lead them back to your camp and make sure that whichever entrance they appear at that you try to get your guard tower up on that side because it's extremely useful. As soon as you're done with this attack wave, you're gonna head over to the east to a nearby dwarven expedition. Give them a talk, and as soon as you're done greeting them, move Arthas back over to the watch point, and as soon as they give you control over the rifle teams, send them east into the nearby cave to clear a path for the young prince. Once you're finished clearing that path, you'll probably end up having another orc attack wave coming through. Finish that one, and then send Arthas to go lead the assault against the Elder Drake. As soon as you have the heart in your hands, head back and turn in the quest item, because the reward from it is extremely good, and you will have this on the final mission. Tell your rifle teams to head over to the entrance of your base, and wait for the next attack wave, 2 of them on each entrance. They'll be your primary responders and your main defenders from this point.
For honor.
Well met, good human. Have you come to join in our hunt?
What are you dwarves hunting in this region?
We're hunting black drakes. It's said the drake's blood can bestow fiery enchantments upon weapons.
The fiery enchantments you seek could prove useful.
The name of the beast we're hunting is Cyranox. With your aid, the monster won't stand a chance.
Once you're done with these initial steps, you're gonna probably want to find farms eventually, as well as probably a few more in the way of guard towers, and you absolutely need a barracks. From your barracks you're gonna build 2 more riflemen, as well as 5 swordsmen. Despite the quest telling you to get 6, you only need 5. The first 3 units out of there, I'm going to be referring to as the strike team. This is going to go around with Arthas and clear out the various creep camps around the mission. You can start out by going after the Murlocs, and because you'll have a footman with you, he'll have a special thing to say about them. He won't say it if he's not there. Past that, send 2 peasants in and start clearing a path to the Ogre Village, where you'll find a very powerful item which will be with you until the last few missions, which is the Gauntlet of Ogre Strength plus 3. There are 3 of them available through this entire campaign. The Murlocs, specifically the red one, holds Claws of Attack plus 3, which will be with you for the first few missions for sure, before you manage to find something better. Inside of the Knoll camp, just closest to your base, you're gonna find a potion of mana,
Job done.
and the Null Camp that's furthest from your base, you're gonna find a potion of healing. Inside of crates on the left-hand side of your base, a scroll of protection. On the right-hand side of the base, another potion of healing.
I stand
One of
for
the
light.
Murloc huts also has a potion of healing. And, just to the right of the
Job
entrance to the Dragon Cave, cutting through a small
Job
section
done.
of forest,
Yes, me lord.
you'll find one last
Off I
Null,
go, then.
Shaman, who has a
I'm here to
wand
help.
of negation with 3
there danger?
charges, which is actually quite useful for this
Of
this
course.
mission's boss.
Certainly.
You dare challenge me? You mortals become more reckless with every generation.
Research complete. For honor. Certainly. Let's bring this heart back to the dwarves. A sound plan. For honor.
Time to go. I'll take care of it.
More gold is required.
Upgrade complete.
Job's done.
Justice shall be done. Of course.
Now I will reforge our weapons to strike with searing heat.
Locked and loaded.
All work. Righto. All right. Righto. Yes, me lord.
Locked and loaded. Aye, sir. I've got the beast in my sights. You have a target? Shoot to kill. Aye. Ready for action. Right. Aye, my
Job's
lord.
done.
I'm here to help. Certainly. A sound plan. For honor. Of course. Certainly. Of course. For honor.
Forces are under attack.
Certainly.
Ready for action.
A sound plan.
Aye, sir. Take that, you
Job's done.
fire!
Is there danger?
Ready for action. You have a target? Aye, sir. I'll take care of it. Aye, your shooter. You have a target? Take that, you
I stand for the light.
Job's
For
done.
honor. I'm here to help.
Ready for action. Yes, my liege. What do you need?
What? More work?
Research complete.
What? What is it? All right.
The light is my strength.
Job's done.
Murlocs? Here? They must have an encampment nearby.
A sound plan.
Off I go then.
I stand for the light. The light is my strength. Is there danger? For my father, the king.
Now back to that idea of the Wand of Negation with 3 charges on it. The only use that you're gonna find for it on this mission and the next 2 missions
lord.
is, first of all,
Yes,
the
me
enemy
lord.
Blade Master has an ability called
Oh,
Mirror
word.
Image. Blasting his mirror images with the wand will do damage to them, but not to him, allowing you a quick moment
course.
to discern the
Certainly.
difference between the real and the
course.
fake.
What is
Also, enemy
Righto.
necromancers in the next few missions will be
Yes,
raising
my lord.
skeletons.
Righto.
These skeletons count as a summoned unit and will take damage from the
Off I
wand
go
negation, making it quite useful.
me lord,
However,
all
its
work.
usefulness
Righto.
is limited,
Off I go
as
then.
it only
Light is
has
my
3
strength.
uses on it
A
total,
sound plan.
and compared to items from future campaigns, it's practically useless. But it is a secret item to be found, and finding it is indeed worth it. Next up,
I'm here to help.
the second of the Knoll encampments, that's farther
I
from your
stand
base
for the
than the
light.
first.
Certainly.
Behind this one, you're gonna
I'm
find
here
a
to help.
waterfall. Behind the waterfall, a ramp protected by trees. Up
All
this
work.
ramp are some more
Alright.
murlocs who hold no items,
Off I go
but
then.
into the forest that
Alright,
they're
job's
standing
done.
in
Off I
is
go then.
carved into the very trees
to
of the
help.
forest, instead of just a single
course.
tree, a handful of
Say
initials,
the word.
ACC. This is in relation to Alicia. When you met her in the last mission, she was looking for her son, little Timmy. Now, Tim Campbell is, I do believe, the lead developer of the game, or something like that, and his name, of course, has been
Is there
referenced for little Timmy.
A
It's
sound
gonna be a
plan.
dozen some odd times, and Alicia is the name of his
On
wife.
my way.
ACC are her initials.
What?
I can
Alright.
only imagine the love they
Yes,
share,
my lord.
because
Right.
that isn't the first instance of carving a name into a forest
stand
that
for
I've
the
heard
light.
of. Although the only other person that I've heard of to do it
Certainly.
is him.
All work.
My
Yes,
peasants
my
are
lord.
almost halfway
What?
cutting their way
Alright.
through to the ogre
Off I
village,
go then.
which is good.
Yes, me lord.
And then
Yes,
soon,
my lord.
I'll be sending a
Righto.
couple of them off to go and find the initials
Alright.
in the forest. I've
What?
already sent one of them to
Off
go
I
and
go
build a
then.
lumber mill
Yes, my
somewhat
lord.
near the area where the Wand of Negation
What
can
is
be
it?
found, and all of my future woodworkers will be sent over here
Yes,
for
my lord.
semi-retirement to start carving their way through here. Aside from that, there is one last patrol of orcs on the mission,
All
which is
work.
somewhat near the mission's boss, so you should probably be careful not to accidentally trigger him.
Alright.
But once you're done with everything outside of
What?
the final boss,
my lord.
and also the orcish
Off I go
base,
then.
you can
my
consider
lord.
I into the orcish
Righto.
base. I
Yes, my
usually
lord.
want to go
Off
in
I go
with
then.
all 6 of my riflemen,
lord.
as well as all 5 of my footmen. I'll end up popping that scroll
The
of
light is my
protection
strength.
on my way in, and
For
I might
honor.
hang on to the
Certainly.
scroll of healing just in
Justice
case
is
of an
coming.
emergency,
For honor.
because it's relatively easy
Certainly.
to end up letting the enemy
sound
attacks
plan.
get ahead of you.
For honor.
If you
Feel my
carefully pull
A sound
the enemy,
plan.
however, you can make it such that the trolls will be standing on low ground, throwing spears up at your men on the high ground, giving them a decent miss chance, which is actually quite good. But aside from that, the mission's extremely straightforward and can be beaten in less than 45 minutes, even on hard mode, even when you're going after
I
everything.
stand for the light.
Ready for action.
We're almost at the halfway point of the total mission, and from here I should go ahead and remain relatively silent, because there's not too much more to say about defense,
Certainly.
not too much more reason to be leading enemy troops back to your base, and I'm probably going to go in for a little bit of an early strike against
What
the
is it?
enemy,
Forces are
so that
under
I can
attack.
use
Righto.
my, what is it called, Divine Shield, because being able to make myself invulnerable
Yes,
is
my
quite
lord.
powerful. But aside from all of
Job
that,
done.
I think that the rest of the mission is extremely straightforward if you've prepared this well this far.
What do you need?
Job's done.
I stand for the light. For honor.
Yes, me lord. Righto. Yes, me lord. Off I go then. What? What is it?
Is there danger?
Yes, my liege.
Job's done.
Aye, my lord.
All work.
Yes, my lord. Righto. I stand for the light. What is it? More work? All right. Is there danger? Certainly. Of course. For honor. Certainly. A sound plan.
Say the word. Right. Aye, my lord.
Yes, me lord. Off I go then. Righto. Off I go then. Yes, me lord.
Aye, sir.
The light is my strength.
What do you need?
Is there danger? The light is my strength. Certainly. For my father, the king. For honor. Of course. Certainly. Of course. For honor. A sound plan. For honor. Certainly. For honor. Certainly. For honor. A sound plan. Certainly. Is there danger? Of course. Certainly. I'm here to help.
Upgrade complete.
For honor.
Say the word.
What?
What do you need?
The light is my strength.
On my way. Right.
Inventory is full.
A sound plan. Of course, for honor. Of course, I stand for the light. Justice shall be done. I'm here to help. Is there danger? Justice shall be done.
Inventory is full.
Certainly. Of course. For honor. Certainly.
Inventory is full.
For honor. A sound plan. I stand for the light. Justice shall be done. Is there danger?
While we're taking on this enemy base, let's take a minute to think about damage and armor types, as well as the various units on the field. The Wolf Rider is quite unique. he's got a siege style attack and heavy armor. However, because he has heavy armor, it means that he's going to take a little bit on the way of extra damage from piercing style attacks. My riflemen and the enemy trolls have a piercing style attack with light armor, which means that siege and piercing is going to do slightly less to them, making them a clearly outclassed wolf rider in all aspects. The enemy orc, as well as my footmen, are extremely normal type enemies, with a normal type attack, normal style armor. They take full damage and deal full damage to almost everything, except for they deal extra damage to lightly armored units, which means that pairing up my foot soldiers against the enemy trolls is a clear win. Pinning up my riflemen against an enemy wolf rider is also a clear win. And trying to keep my footmen somewhat away from the enemy wolf riders is also going to be slightly on the important side to make sure that they don't take too awful much damage. Now, concerning that wolf rider, his siege style attack, although it does normal damage to a normal armor type, he does greatly increase damage against buildings, which actually makes him more effective against buildings than even one of the more secret damage types in the game, called Chaos Damage, which does full damage to all armor types. I do believe your hero also has a lightly reduced damage from piercing style attacks, which makes him quite useful in some niche scenarios. However, you can see that even if you're as bad at micromanaging your units as I am, where I couldn't even go and pick up that potion of mana in time, that just so long as you're paying attention, running away where you need to, that you can actually keep your units alive with very low hit points until you can manage to get them to someone who can heal them, which is very nice.
Righto.
Say the word. Right. Aye, my lord. Right. Aye, my lord. Right. Aye, my lord. Attack! Right. Of course. Let me at 'em. Yes, my liege. What do you need? To arms! Say the word. Orders. What do you need? Attack! Yes, my liege. Aye, my lord. Of course. Right. Of course. On my way. Of course.
Now that we've had a brief moment to get all the way to the point that we've got the ACC found in the forest, I do believe that I'd like to take just a brief minute to talk about one final thing, which is the final boss. Now, when fighting him, he has a secondary ability other than that mirror image. And that other ability is actually his most powerful ability, which is called Blade Storm. He spins around in circles, doing high damage to everything around him. He's absolutely a blender, and you don't want to be a tomato caught in that blender.
For honor.
However, Arthas is pretty chonky. You know, even for a hero, he's extremely chonky. And if you need to, you can pop his Divine Shield to completely negate that damage, or you can just eat it with your face. Once he's cast Blade Storm, just once really, but particularly if he's also cast Mirror Image, he's more or less been neutered, and you can move your army in to chop him down to pieces. You do have to watch out though, because he has another ability called Critical Strikes. This will be the last of his abilities, or maybe I should say it's actually the second of his abilities. Because in normal mode, he's level 2, which means that he has, I think, 1 rank in Critical Strikes, 1 rank in Mirror Image. this mode
A
he's
sound
level
plan.
6, which means that I do believe he's got 3 ranks in Mirror Image,
Of course.
1 rank in
For honor.
Blade Storm, which leaves 2 ranks in Critical Strikes, which means he does double and then he does
Certainly.
triple a normal
For honor.
auto attack's damage, which
Certainly.
can chunk your units
honor.
down pretty hard,
Certainly.
and your Holy Light is pretty strong. It should be able to stay on top of it,
Of course.
but if it isn't, consider running some of your units away.
For
I
honor.
usually form all of my footmen to a hot group
Certainly.
number 3, and all of my riflemen to a hot group number 2, and just run my footmen away about the point in time that the shit starts hitting the fan. Because when he starts turning into a blender, the only thing to do is either run or just face tank it.
Of course.
Now on the note of this Null, you don't need any units with you. Arthas alone can knock this Null down in like maybe 4 or 5 hits from his hammer. It can't do enough damage to actually hurt you, and I do believe that I eat my potion afterwards just for the sake of having used it up, instead of leaving it on the ground at the end of the mission. But it's good
A sound.
to make sure that if you have a whole bunch of extra stuff, bring it on over with you. Lay it down in front of the area where you're about to fight the Blade Master. Consider saving your game before fighting him. He can be a volatile fight. If you need, if you want, you can use as many of your items as possible and just keep running back, filling up your inventory until you've actually used up everything on this mission. You can fight him alone, you can fight him with your army, you could potentially bring just your army and fight them without Arthas, but that would be a good way to lose a lot of units, and I'm pretty sure that nobody wants their units all torn up. Now, I've got a bit of a different note when it comes to the idea of a unit having died in this mission, in this game, period. I don't see any death as being permanent. I really don't. I see that when you defeat somebody, actually defeating them in battle, that they don't actually die. That they get scooped up and taken back to the base, unless of course there's no one left at the end of battle, and in which case the unit probably dies from having the entire unit destroyed and beaten. However, I even still see the idea that the injured units wake up after about 5 minutes, hobble their way back to the base, and spend a few months in recovery, because a great number of the units are recurrent. And the only way for them to be recurrent is either 1, just a death isn't a death, or 2, names are so common that everyone's got the same name. And then on the final note, this last 2 trees that I'm knocking down with my peasants, these ones actually need to be knocked down during the night, or else your peasants start taking attack damage from the Gnoll, who's going to see you and going to start chonking away at you, despite you not being able to reach him. He's a bit of a cheater like that, which is a good reason why I don't necessarily mind too much when it comes to somewhat cheaty ways of beating these guys, especially if it requires just a bit of forethought, and just kind of thinking to myself, what is the best way to knock down a Gnoll?
I'm here to help. Of course. For my father, the king. The light is my strength. A sound plan. Certainly. I stand for the light. I'm here to help.
Paladin fool! The warlocks of the Black Rock clan have spoken. Soon, demons will rain from the sky, and this wretched world will burn.
Yes, I've heard this rhetoric before. You orcs will never learn. It was only a mirror image. Damn it. What are these curs up to?
The hour of doom approaches. Let this paltry sacrifice appease our demon masters.
You sick bastards. You'll never get away.
Slay the orcs. Slay them all!
Is there danger?
Ready for action.
Yes, my liege.
What do you need?
Justice shall be
Orders?
done. Is there danger? For honor. A sound. A sword. For honor. Justice shall be done. You are past death. A sound plan.
You've done well, lad. This was a sound victory.
I don't know, Uther. The orcs were sacrificing townsfolk. I think they were trying to summon demons.
Have faith, lad. These orcs are trying to hold on to dying traditions. We defeated their demons a long time ago. Let's head for home. It's been a long day.